JPEGMAFIA, I always...
JPEGMAFIA.
JPEGMAFIA EP.
JPEGMAFIA, man.
Sonically, I've never liked the sound of his projects, but I know, and I think I've said this before when we reviewed one of his albums, I can hear the talent. I can hear the creativity of him as an MC.
When I put this shit on, I'm like, nigga, did I add the right fucking project, nigga? Like, what the fuck?
This shit was very unexpected. This is not what I was thinking I was gonna hear from JPEG. EP1 was really dope, but it was more along the lines of what he was doing on Cornballs. So I was like, all right, cool.
I enjoyed this one, and as always, you know, he's gonna take you on an adventure, you know, musically with the production and stuff that he does.
JPEG is a very interesting guy, and I don't know if I've ever given my take on him. I know I've never been on camera giving my take. I may have said something behind the camera, but the thing that I do like about JPEGMAFIA is he challenges my ear.
He be flowing though, like it's moments. Even because I listened to the first EP as well, just to kind of get, because when I listened to this one, I was like, okay, I've never heard him do his voice like this. Like he kind of pretty much auto-toned this whole thing, kind of melodic type of flow or whatever.
After the first listen, I said, damn, like this feels like his 808 and Heartbreaks.
And the thing that I picked up with this one that I liked the most is that he has a way of rapping pop culture or using pop culture references into his content. What I mean by that is there was the Trump line where he was talking about love someone or something like Trump loves Putin. Like that's something that's like when you hear it, you can relate to it instantly. And then there was the line where he said on the last track where he was like, my world different like Kyrie. You know, as a basketball fan and following the sports, Kyrie has made a lot of, you know, things. Like Kyrie clearly lives in a different world. So I immediately picked up on that and could catch it.
I feel like he's completely stepping out of his wheelhouse and he's trying something very outside of the box. And I definitely feel like this is gonna confuse a lot of people. I can see people definitely not liking this, but I think it's dope because I think people have an idea of what experimental hip hop is, and they think that experimental hip hop, you're supposed to just experiment with sounds outside of hip hop. But I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, what happens when you have a rapper that is already an experimental rapper, but he decides to take sounds that are semi-popular within hip hop and experiment with them?
So I never heard him use his voice that way. So I listened to the first one. He wasn't really doing it that much in the first EP, but this one, he did it a lot, which I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But he had a line. I got lines now, because now we can do this shit one by one, so I don't have to worry about messing up people's talking points and shit. But he had a lot of gun references throughout this EP too, I noticed. Like, I'm like, damn, he got a lot of gun reference. But he said a line on the track, Kill Tech, scary ass backpack rapper niggas never was meant to outlast me. Me and my Kimber like Lena and Lashley, unkept the drag attachments, 9 on me. I'm sassy. Tatiana, when I'm at the crib with the Smith on me, call me Ashley. I was like, oh shit. That shit was a dope ass like Fresh Prince, but it was a gun bar reference on there. So I was like, all right.
Man, this dude can really fucking rap, man. Like, seriously, like this dude can really fucking rap. And like I don't hear it immediately when I listen to his stuff. It takes me a while. It takes me a few listens to get used to the sound. Like I said, he challenges my ear. But man, when you really break down the bars, and I think Ken said this, like his pop culture references, like he really knows how to put this stuff together. If
he was rapping like this on a different type of production that was like I like or whatever, and not saying it had to be like boom bap or trapping it like that, but like I don't know, if it was over beats that I enjoyed, I think I would really love this EP because I mean, he was rapping pretty good in spots that he was rapping when he wasn't on this melodic singing. When he was rapping, he was rapping.
JPEG is quirky, weird dude, right? Like he doesn't color inside the lines, which I always appreciated. But it was more experimental versus this. This is very vibey.
I like on Celtic how he speaks about ownership and how doubt, people doubting him. And when he talked about like he's owning like his production and stuff like that, I thought that was really dope.
Again, white people, don't get mad at me. I'm just repeating what JPEG said. But when he said ducking these crackers, I feel like I'm Bin Laden. That shit was hilarious.
I do have one question that y'all can answer me if you want to. Like, what is the thing with him saying like when he said, I want a bitch with long hair like Mike Seatown on that one album? I noticed that he does that with other things, and then also he references himself like a chick sometime. Why does he do that? Does anybody know? Have y'all ever noticed that? He said, twerking on stage, I feel like Mary J. Blige. Like that type of shit. He said, I'm twerking on stage, I'm feeling like Mary J. Blige. But then this is how this dude can rap, bro. Mike is laughing in the background. Dog, it's so funny. But then immediately after that, he said, since I bought a Glock, no more drama in my life. And that's like clear to Mary J. Blige. I'm like, this dude can really fucking rap. Like, I wouldn't catch that unless I like listen to it several times and look at some of the lyrics. But he does that a lot. The dude can really fucking put words together, man.
He's really talented. He's a really talented MC, but the sound just never gets me. Never.
I enjoyed this. I don't know if it'll be in my rotation, but I liked it, and it definitely bumps in the whip.
I think on the last track, Last Dance, it was something about him talking about the journalists and how white journalists don't want to cover him, and it sounds like there's, I don't know, based on what he's saying, I don't know what's going on between him and the journalist, but what made that stood out to me when I heard it, and it just kind of reminded me of the importance of what we do, as a black organization, and to be able to give artists like JPEG some give them a review, and give them a review from like us. So I did think that was interesting, and that was one of the things that popped in my head. But
I thought it was interesting that he went from Last Dance to Intro, because Intro really wasn't a song. It was just he was just kind of humming some stuff. And then that went straight into Fix Yourself, which was basically the same beat on Intro. So I thought that was cool.
I don't know. I guess after a while, the production got to be a little bit samey, but I still think that he gave the project a very, very, very cohesive sound.
Everything, it wasn't samey. They were all different, but nothing stood out for me.
Celtic was probably my standout track immediately. I really liked the way he was flowing on that. That one, it didn't take getting used to on that one. When I heard it, I immediately was just like, oh yeah, that's fucking dope.
But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really, really solid project from production, and then from the content as well. And him talking about being a veteran and stuff like that.
He had a line where he said, fuck with me and I'm gonna employ the Tommy. Did you catch that? I kind of wonder if B caught that. I bet he didn't. Employ the Tommy? Tommy, you ain't got no job. Bro, that shit made me want to email him a high five. That shit was so hard.
Panic Room was interesting. It's funny, I was listening to this album while working. His video popped up in my inbox for Panic Room. So I watched the video. I was like, oh, I'm listening to the album, I might as well watch the video. And like he had like the gun and stuff, it was blurred out and stuff like that. And I later found out that it was some discrepancies or something with that video where it was like it was illegal for him to drop it, because he actually pulls his dick out in the video and blurs it out. This dude is fucking crazy, bro.
This one's for us. That one was my jam. That's the one where he went off on that weird rap tangent, which was just incredible. And that's the only one where I usually don't do this, but I wrote down this bar because I didn't want to fuck it up. I hope y'all will let me recite it to you. Is that okay? White boys scared of the peg in private, but they post in black squares now. When you see me, better say it with your chest, and you better have a vest, because I don't waste rounds. Woo-hoo! Man, that is a hard-ass bar. He also says something about you vague with threats and I'm direct with my pistol, something like that. I don't know what's going on with JPEG, but he's mad as fuck.
Oh, he had the line where he was like, I'm gonna pull this dick out with no consent, and like, I know that I don't know if Myke caught that, but the dick. Remember when we had that thing with Low Mid where we was talking about dick being a gun or whatever? So I thought that was a cool way of saying, you know, I'm gonna pull this dick out with no consent.
It might grow on me even more, you know what I'm saying? Like in terms of how consistently I play it. But right now, you know, with so much music, shout out Dead End Hip Hop 365. If you don't know, now you know. Go check that out on our podcast.
I really enjoyed this. I don't think this is the direction that his music is gonna go in general, but I think for a little sidestep EP, this is really, really cool.
But yeah, man, overall, man, this was good, man. This was a cool listen. Like I like listening to albums like that because, like I said again, it's not something that I would typically turn on, but it does challenge in my ear and strengthens my palate when it just comes to hip hop and the different facets of hip hop. So yeah, man, I appreciate JPEGMAFIA and what he brings to the genre, man. I think he's very important to the genre. So yeah, man, shout out to JPEG, man. This is a pretty dope EP.